It's day 2 of jury selection in the Trump trial, and it's just it's sick. It's twisted, and we're going to talk a lot about it. And a lot of things have happened today that we're going to get into. But I wanted to start with Scarborough. Joe Scarborough on MSNBC. Now, I know no one watches Joe Scarborough because, of course, I'm on the air in the mornings,
of course,
live, and who would watch? I feel like MSNBC just has Scarborough on because they have to have some filler while I'm on the air. But Scarborough, who I got to tell you, he is obviously I don't watch the show live, but over the years I've seen clips like I'm going to play now. He is the rudest, nastiest person, and it's not just rude to people he doesn't like. He's rude to his wife. He's rude to his panelists. I saw him once.
Yeah. He is. He's just a jerk.
Yeah, I saw him once a few years ago. He's got his own band where he plays. Yeah, and he was going to play on the show.
What an egomaniac.
Yeah, and I couldn't believe this. I talked about this at the time on the podcast, but it was a few years ago. They went to break, and then he went to set up with the band and get the instruments set up, and Mika is doing the segment, and he had himself mic'd up, and was tuning his instruments and having a conversation with the band while she was trying to do a segment. And he knew his mics were on. It was just like, look at me. Look, he's a narcissist. He's a sicko narcissist.
Yeah, he loves attention. And he's getting worse. He's gotten much worse over the years. It's all about him and going viral. I think a lot of these, like this meltdown you're going to play, I think a lot of that is him really playing it up to be talked about by us and in the Daily Mail, and I think it's fake. I really do. I think it's fake.
He wants to be important.
Exactly.
When Trump first became president in the first term, Joe and Mika were all about it until President Trump wouldn't let Mika come to dinner with her face bandaged after she had a major full facelift, And then all of a sudden he hated on Trump. Now he's in with Biden. He talks to Biden every day, it was reported. So, he's in with Biden now.
No, I think he hates Trump, but I think for the people in the media, their goal is to be in the Daily Mail. Mm-hmm. And that's like the most read publication. And if you watch Outnumbered, all their stories come from the Daily Mail. A lot of our stories come from the Daily Mail. It's the most popular one. And I think for most people in the media, in the national media, they want to be featured in that and have, he sees like women on The View or Megyn Kelly getting articles about them, and I'm sure he's seething with jealousy. Yeah. And he wants people to write about him. So what does he do? I'm not saying he doesn't hate Trump, but he's just going over the top lately with this outrage, and it's so ridiculous.
Well,
it's just absurd.
One of the reasons that the media are so upset, what you said's true, but there's another factor too. Before Trump came down the escalator, the media had a major role in deciding who was president and senators and members of the House and everything. And when Trump exposed the media, right? They've lost all their power. They no longer have influence. The media used to be the influencers. They're not influencers anymore, and they're holding on to that old-time thing.
Well, but do you think Joe Scarborough's really concerned about the country, or is he more concerned about himself?
This is what Scarborough's doing.
He's concerned about himself.
I know. I don't totally agree with what you said. I know he wants to go viral, but this is the problem that Joe Scarborough is having, which is very self-destructive, okay? Mm-hmm. And I've seen people do this with others. He's showing off to Biden because he's in with Biden now. So so he assumes when he's on the air, maybe it's true, maybe Biden's up that early, I don't know. But he's talking to Biden, and everything he does is to show off to Biden.
Well, that's what I mean. He's not doing it to inform people or to help the country. It's self-serving.
Well, when I interviewed a little while ago Marjorie Taylor Greene on the radio, right? Remember that live interview when she had her book come out? Mm-hmm. And someone from her team, her publicity team or publicist, messaged me and told me Trump was listening to the interview, right before the interview. And I was a little, and I know that he's listened to me before, and people have told me that.
Right.
But usually they have. I've been told after he listened. I've never been told, okay, he's going to be listening to this next segment. I would find out after. Mm-hmm. And there was one day in particular, I was really, after the show, someone told me President Trump was listening today, and I was like, oh well, I'm so glad he was listening today, because today it was a really good show. But when they told me before Marjorie Taylor Greene that he was going to be, I got very nervous. If you guys were watching on YouTube, I didn't say it on YouTube, but if you go back to that, I don't think I said it. Maybe I did. I can't remember. But if you go back to that, you'll see I got really nervous. But I wanted to make sure that I wasn't doing what Joe is doing, that I wasn't talking to him, that I was doing it like I was going to do it anyway. Because when you're trying to impress someone like that, you can make a fool out of yourself. Now, Scarborough here, he's talking directly to Biden, I can tell. And he's talking about the reaction of Trump and all of us to this kangaroo court in New York. And we'll go through this. As it goes on, he ramps it up. He gets more and more out of control. And by the way, later on, we're going to hear from one of the jurors that got dismissed in the Trump trial. You listen to this brain surgeon.
Before you play it, I'll say this is a guy who he's been on TV a long time.
Oh yeah, too
and
long.
he now has the president's ear,
Biden,
and is probably in his own mind like his best friend.
Yeah,
and that if you have a fragile ego or you're a narcissist, that can really mess with your head if you're not grounded. Yeah. And he probably has such an inflated sense of himself and his importance.
He's like a presidential advisor.
Oh, beyond that, in his mind, he's like his top confidant. You know what I mean? And the guy that has the inside track on everything. And I think it's just totally gone to his head.
And he
doesn't realize Biden's just using him.
That's right. When it comes to media people, okay, the people that you think are your friends that are politicians, they're manipulating you so that you'll go on the air and do what it is they want you to do.
Exactly.
But anyway, so let's get to this. Now, as he goes on, he gets more and more amped up as it goes on, okay? But this is Scarborough today, Morning Joe, in his meltdown.
So Donald Trump keeps talking about how America sucks. And before he got elected, America sucked. And then he got elected, suddenly America was great. Then he lost, and now America sucks again.
Okay. First off, President Trump does not say America sucks. I've never heard him say the word sucks.
No, I've never heard that either.
He's talking about this corrupt system that's going on.
That's exactly
and this judge is corrupt and is probably on the take. He's not saying America sucks. He's saying that this justice system is an injustice system, and these are corrupt public officials who are misusing their powers in the offices in which they hold.
Well, and Trump remembers a time when America was a powerful country and it had influence, and we were self-sustaining, and we are a great country. When he says that, he's just saying, I want to get it back to America being great the way it was, not where we're having open border and all these endless wars, and there's, like you said, all this corruption.
You're voting for a guy like that? You live in the most powerful, greatest country on the face of the earth? And you're voting for a guy that tells you every day that America sucks? What's wrong with you? Who raised you?
Oh my God!
Now when he says who raised you, he's talking to people who vote for Trump. He's not talking about Trump. Right. He's talking to the American people.
That's right. What's his accent? Where's he from?
Florida. He's from Florida.
He's born and raised. He's a Floridian.
He was a congressman here in Florida years ago.
He's got a weird accent. I think he's been in. I don't know. He's got a strange accent. What's wrong with you?
Yeah.
People don't.
And he lives in Florida now. He lives in Jupiter, Florida. Yeah.
That's it. Like, where are you from? Because you may claim to be from where I'm from, but you were not raised by the same teachers I was raised by, and you don't read.
Oh my goodness!
You don't. And again, he's not talking about Trump.
Did Katie Couric get together over the weekend?
He's talking about Trump voters. We don't read. What would he like us to read?
They think remember what Katie Couric said. I mean, they really think we're stupid.
Where do you get your worldview? What do you read? What books do you read? What publications do you read? The problem is we do read.
Meanwhile, we all know how Katie Couric got to where she got.
We read the Gateway Pundit. We read Breitbart. Yeah. We read the truths that Trump posts on Truth Social. We read all kinds of things.
Here's the deal with the liberal, and I know he says he's a conservative, but he's not. With the liberal and even the rhinos, the elites, they love to feel that they're better than everybody. Mm-hmm. And in order to feel better than other people, they have to put those people down.
Yeah.
Because if you want to feel better than somebody, you have to make them feel less than you first. And that's what they're doing. So in their mind, they're better than everybody else, and they're better basically than anybody who votes for Trump. We're all idiots and stupid, white trash.
Red, Mike, the facts are clear. And I'm getting tired of saying this to people who claim to be patriotic but hate America.
He's talking about Joy Reid, right?
Because they're always running America down. They're always trashing America. They're always saying America's horrible. Its democracy doesn't work. We need a dictatorship if Donald Trump doesn't win.
No one says that we want Donald Trump to be a dictator, not even Donald Trump.
I've never heard anybody say that.
He made a joke to Hannity just for a day. Dictator for a day. It was sarcasm.
Me, like you said, this to me is right out of Biden's mouth.
Yes.
Because I've heard Biden recently say almost similar words.
Oh, yeah.
Use similar phrases.
Yeah.
So these two had a little time together over, maybe he was in Delaware with Joe and vacationing with him. And this is, he came back to work all worked up and hyped up and saying word for word what Biden and him discussed.
Oh, yeah.
Tired of people running America down. And on Fox News, and I'll just say it, on Fox News, they didn't want to show Donald Trump in trial. So they got 3 protests and said protests shut down America, basically. This weekend, there were like 4 migrants and a hound dog on top of a hill in New Mexico. And they had their 4 migrants and a hound dog cam on for hours. There's right now, I'm looking.
Now he's going to go into a comedic rant, and these poor people that have to work on his show have to laugh at what he says.
He's a monster.
He's kind of like Steven Crowder here, and the more that they laugh at his unfunny little thing here, the more he does it.
Hill, and there are 2, 3. Oh, I see a coyote. That's a hound dog, Bob. Okay, a hound dog. I mean, this is a world. They give their viewers anything to try to make America look bad. They are obsessed with trashing America when America is stronger, more powerful than ever before. Its economy is stronger and more powerful than ever.
He has a panel sitting here of about 6 or 7 people, and they're just sitting there just listening to him rant.
Brian, I've seen clips of his show. They're terrified of talking.
Oh, yeah.
This guy is a tyrant. I mean, talk about a dictator.
Monster,
He's a tyrant. And he runs his show that way. And I promise you, he has probably got one of the most fragile egos in TV. This guy, he's going to be getting fired. He's going to go too far. I'm telling you, that's what's happening because he's so full of himself. And this is what he is saying is word for word out of Biden's mouth. Mm-hmm. You can tell.
So what do? They find a trans athlete in Utah. So our world's coming to an end. Help us, Jesus.
Hear him making fun of Christians. Here I said Jesus.
I wonder if MSNBC is upset that he spent the whole weekend watching Fox News.
Exactly. He's not even watching his own air.
He seems to know what their entire weekend programming was.
Exactly.
I mean, my goodness.
Yeah.
Country ain't the country I was raised in. No, it's better. It's stronger. We're more powerful. Our military's more powerful. Relative to the rest of the world, our economy is stronger. Relative to the rest of the world. But you would never know this because they are fed a steady stream of hate America first rhetoric, which I suppose is what you have the chairman of the House GOP saying that some of those dupes, backbenchers, are actually clinging to pro-Russian propaganda
and spreading. Here we go.
Here they go again. if you oppose them, you're working for Putin and you're spreading Russian propaganda.
This is right out of Biden's mouth, what he's saying right
across
here.
Their districts, across America, and across the House floor.
Okay. Now, this is why
he's pathetic.
When we were growing up as kids in the 70s and 80s, all we heard about was Russia and the Cold War, and I know the Berlin Wall was real and stuff. I'm not stupid, but I really the entire Cold War was fake. It benefited us and the Soviets, and you hear it here. Everything they don't like is Russian propaganda, as if Russia is our big bad enemy. Now, if you're in Ukraine,
you've heard Steve talk like that too, because he grew up like my father and like Joe Scarborough and like us. But we're not so brainwashed. But they grew up with that fear of Russia. But what he's saying here, he is touched on every talking point that Biden has been hammering to the American people for weeks about we're the strongest and America's great and Trump's a dictator.
We've never been this strong.
And exactly because of Biden, obviously Trump's a dictator and Russia is working with everything he said is coming from the White House.
Everything,
And him screaming at the camera is about him wanting to go viral, and he did.
Well,
everybody's talking about it,
and he's showing off.
Mission accomplished.
He's showing off to Biden.
He's showing off exactly.
He's showing off to Biden, and this thing about Russia propaganda. I mean, I sometimes I'll have liberals call me and say, "Oh, you're a Putin puppet," or "That's Russian propaganda," and I don't even think they realize they're saying it. It's just like a habit to say that. And they really believe it. I got news for. I'm not saying Putin's a good guy. He's been in power forever, beyond term limit. They have term limits over there, and he's found a way around that. I understand he's a dictator, but he's no threat to the United States. We got to, I saw a guy on, I can't remember what social media platform it was. It was either Instagram or X this morning, and he was showing where U.S. military personnel are stationed around the world. And he's like, why do we have soldiers here when we're being invaded here? And he was pointing to Texas, you know what I mean? And it's so true. I mean, our enemy right now is not Russia. It's the southern border invasion that's going on.
Yeah,
now,
that's the real threat.
I want to thank our Patreon supporters for their support of the program. Those of you that are Patreon supporters, thank you so much. And if you would like to support the program by becoming a Patreon supporter, there's a link in the description of this and every episode. And Patreon supporters have access to a lot of exclusive things that Kathy and I both post separately. Kathy puts things on Patreon. I put things on Patreon that nobody else sees other than Patreon supporters. Plus, Patreon supporters have access to commercial-free editions of all the podcast episodes. And our top Patreon supporters get a live on-air thank you shout-out on each and every episode. So the names you'll hear now are our top Patreon supporters. I want to thank Andrew and Connie, Christine, ETW, Chuck, D, Pamela, Rick, Nick, Wesley, Macho, Mike P, Carlos, Paulette, John, Heather, David, Maria in Texas, Richard, Alice, K-Mac, LeeZep, Shawna, Constance, George, and Brandon. These are our top Patreon supporters. Thank you so much. And again, if you would like to become a Patreon supporter, there is a link in the description of each and every episode. We're going to take our first break. Don't go anywhere. We've got a lot to cover after this. We'll be right back.
Attention all seekers of inner peace and adventurers of the mind. Are you ready to unlock your full potential? Introducing the Mental Activity Workbook that will revolutionize the way you approach mental wellness. With the Mental Activity Workbook, you'll discover a world of mindfulness exercises and self-reflection prompts that will help empower you to overcome life's challenges and thrive in every moment. The Mental Activity Workbook is now available on Amazon. Order your copy today and embark on a journey towards clarity, resilience, and true happiness. And get ready to dive into an epic adventure like never before. Coming soon, the most anticipated video game of the year that supports mental wellness. Don't miss out on the excitement. Follow on YouTube and TikTok at Mindful Balance Works and online at mindfulbalanceworks.com. Don't miss out on the excitement. Order your copy of the Mental Activity Workbook today on Amazon and stay tuned for the adventure of a lifetime. Are you battling anxiety, stress, fear? Do you have anger management issues or seeking to enhance sports performance? These are issues so many people face but never find the relief that they're looking for. If you're ready to unlock the power of your subconscious mind and take control of your life, then visit subconscioushypnotherapy.com. At subconscioushypnotherapy.com, you'll find Nader McHale, a clinically certified hypnotherapist and esteemed member of the American Hypnosis Association, as well as the National Association of Hypnotherapists. With his years of experience, he specializes in guiding individuals just like you through their subconscious to overcome obstacles and achieve their goals. Sessions are tailored to your specific needs and are conducted via Zoom. Visit subconscioushypnotherapy.com and schedule your free 15-minute consultation to make sure it's the right fit for you. So how does hypnotherapy work? Through a deeply relaxed state, you're hypnotized to reprogram your subconscious mind with positive suggestions. Imagine overcoming your fear of flying and replacing it with calm and relaxation. That's just one example of the powerful transformations possible with subconscious hypnotherapy. Using a variety of modalities and techniques such as imagery, EFT, and NLP, Nader customizes each session to fit your unique needs. Say goodbye to those limiting beliefs and hello to a brighter, more fulfilling future. Visit subconscioushypnotherapy.com and book your free consultation today. Subconscioushypnotherapy.com, where positive change begins within. Subconscioushypnotherapy.com. Join an incredible summer adventure with Oscar in the book from author J.J. Towers. Oscar, the dinosaur who saved Earth, with pizza, hip-hop, and dino power. Available on Amazon. In Oscar, the dinosaur who saved Earth, Luna and Noah make a startling discovery in the Appalachian Mountains. A clutch of dinosaur eggs that are frozen in time. They're led by the wise and lovable Oscar. These dinosaurs are on a mission to save humanity from extinction by promoting sustainability and having a whole lot of fun along the way. With their intelligence and creativity, Oscar and his gang develop renewable energy solutions known as Dino Power. Can Oscar and his gang overcome those who are not on board with their message and change the world for the better? Find out when you read Oscar, the dinosaur who saved Earth, with pizzas, hip-hop, and Dino Power from author J.J. Towers. Available on Amazon in Kindle, paperback, and hardcover edition. Order your copy right now. Add a touch of uniqueness to your life with Gino Concept on Etsy, the home of the finest handmade goods and gifts at great prices. At Gino Concept on Etsy, you'll find a world of handmade treasures and one-of-a-kind creations that will elevate your style. They have everything you're looking for: home decor, phone cases, bags, shoes, clothes, and that's just the beginning. Gino Concept on Etsy has something special for every taste and every occasion. Whether you're treating yourself or searching for the perfect gift, Gino Concept on Etsy is sure to impress. Start shopping right now online at ginoconcept.etsy.com and experience the joy of owning something truly extraordinary. ginoconcept.etsy.com, where creativity meets craftsmanship. ginoconcept.etsy.com.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at briancraigshow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
So they have dismissed over 50 potential jurors already, okay? And this jury selection in this kangaroo court where they're putting Trump on trial, they have to seat 18 jurors. They have to have 12 jurors and 6 alternates. And that's not going to be enough.
No.
Some of the people, like one, I've got a background of 3 of them, which I'll get to in a little bit. But they interviewed one of the jurors after she was, potential jurors, after she was dismissed. And she gave a little bit of an interview of her experience being in the courtroom during jury selection with President Trump being there.
What was that like, answering questions, including some about Donald Trump as he is sitting 30 feet from you?
It was odd. It was such an interesting experience because I had never seen him in person before, and you see someone blown up so larger than life on the media for so many years. To see them in person is very jarring, and you get the sense that it's like, oh, this is just guy, and also he sees me talking about him, which is bizarre.
Did you make eye contact with him?
Yes. Yeah.
At what point? What was that?
I believe right before I started to read off the questionnaire, and right after I finished, before I got up to go when I was dismissed.
Did it add another level of nervousness or tension that you felt with him sitting there?
I think so. It made the whole thing feel more real in a way, because I guess when you're on any jury, you have elements of that person's future in your hands. So whether it was Trump or whether it was some stranger off the street in Manhattan who I had never heard of before, if you commit to sitting on the jury, you can change that person's life forever.
Okay. Now, they made a wise choice getting her off. She's a goddess. When you're on a jury, you have power over a person's life. I mean, I've
sounds a little self-important.
I have never heard in my life any juror, because I've watched a lot of interviews with jurors over the years. I've never seen a juror say, when you're a juror, you have power over someone's life. And she seems, I like to know which side dismissed her.
This is the jury pool that Trump's dealing with.
New York. Lunatics.
People that love having power. They're liberals.
Yes.
Liberals love having power over you. They own slaves and they want to own you. I mean, that is what draws people to that party.
She's a typical New York liberal.
Yep,
a New York liberal.
Power. And like I said, people like Joe Scarborough, Katie Couric, part of them feeling empowered is to, in their mind, they convince themselves that anybody who isn't part of their group or disagrees with them is stupid and beneath them, and they need to take the reins and take control and save them from themselves. And that's really, I promise you, the jurors they're interviewing are people that look at Trump like her and think, I need to save this man from himself.
Yeah.
He doesn't know any better.
I've got the answers that some of the jurors gave. There were 3 jurors, because there's reporters in this courtroom. Unfortunately, there's no cameras.
Oh,
there should be. I think the American people.
Why aren't there?
Because the judge isn't allowing it. I think the American people need to see what's going on in this courtroom.
I'm shocked.
But they have this questionnaire they go through where they ask them all kinds of questions, and I have the breakdown of 3. Okay, potential juror number 13. Okay, says that you just cannot get a jury in New York City for Donald Trump. I mean, they need to change this venue to our neighborhood here in Florida. Listen to this. This is potential juror number 13. These are the questions. They answered the questions, right? I was born in Mexico, became a citizen in 2017. That's all you need to know right there, right? Because Mexicans, for the most part, don't like Donald Trump, right?
Jeez.
Yeah. Okay, I was born in Mexico, became a citizen in 2017, not married, no children. I live with my dog. I get my news from the New York Times, MSNBC, and TikTok.
Oh, well. That's a keeper.
Oh, my goodness.
Yeah.
Okay, this is potential juror number 14. He's a man, lives on the Lower East Side of Manhattan. That's right there. Discount him right there, Lower East Side of Manhattan.
Unbelievable.
I am from Puerto Rico.
Oh, my goodness.
I do IT consulting. I'm self-employed. I am married for a long time. My wife is a writer. And I get my news from the New York Times and Google. This is potential juror number 15. I live in Battery Park City. I work for Diligent. I don't know what that means. I've been married twice. I have a daughter with my first wife. She's deceased. I have collectibles. I'm on the board of my synagogue. I get my news from the ACLU, the New York Times, HuffPost, and CNN.
Well, they all go to the New York Times. That's amazing.
Well, it's New York.
Yeah.
And that's all fake news. New York Times, all fake news. HuffPost and CNN, that's where he gets his
all
news.
Liberals.
How are you going to get a jury? Okay. How are you going to get a jury together when they all get their news from HuffPost, CNN, the New York Times? I like this, ACLU, and it's
wow. Incredible.
It's pretty bad. I don't mean to laugh because none of this is funny.
And they're all Hispanic too.
A lot of them, yeah. And
all the ones you just read.
Yeah, it's
Puerto Rico, Mexico.
It's a mess.
There was another guy.
It's a mess, And although I've had good experiences in Mexico and Puerto Rico with the MAGA hat, I've been to, when we went on our cruise to Mexico, I guess it was in 2019. It was before COVID. It was the cruise before COVID, and we went about an hour away from the port to go to these Mayan pyramids that were discovered in the 90s, which is pretty cool because those are new ones, right? They discovered them in the 90s. And everyone decided they were going to wear their MAGA hats in the group. And I'm like, I don't know. I meet the group and I said, they all had their MAGA hats on. I said, we're in Mexico, right? They said, yeah. And one of the guys one of our listeners that was with us, he used to play for the NFL. So he's a big guy. He's like, don't worry. Like, okay. So we all wore our MAGA hats, and we got nothing but compliments from Mexicans down there. And I think a lot of Mexicans don't like this stereotype that they're attached to because of the caravans of people that are allowed to go through their country to get to ours. I don't know. But I do know this. There's no way they're going to be able to put together a fair, impartial jury for Donald Trump in New York City.
No. In fact, I don't even know.
It's not possible.
In New York City, if they can get anybody who even likes Trump or supports Trump.
Openly. No. I was listening to some of the discussions up there about this, and I did not think about this, Kathy, but a lot of these people have been talking about how much money it is worth to be on the Trump jury. That if you're on the Trump jury, that when the case is over,
they'll all write books.
You can monetize that, and
Sure.
and yeah, and most people try to get out of a jury, and I know people say, well, that's not the right thing to do. You got to do your civic duty. When you get on a jury, they pay you like nothing. And you still got to make your rent and mortgage payments and car payments and eat and support your family. And it's a financial hardship to be on a jury. It really is. And, if you're on this jury and it doesn't convict, you think those liberals in New York are going to treat you nicely if they know you're on that jury and it doesn't convict?
It's crazy.
You know what I mean? There's a lot of pressure if you're on this jury. Now, here in Florida, where the documents case is, it's in Fort Pierce, Florida, which is in St. Lucie County, which is 2 counties north of Mar-a-Lago. It's Palm Beach County, Martin County, and then St. Lucie County. And I call Martin County MAGA Martin County, but St. Lucie County is just as MAGA as Martin County.
Yeah.
So the jury pool is as conservative as New York is liberal.
Yes.
Okay. And some people might say, well, it balances out. No, it doesn't balance it out because, even though it's a MAGA county, there still are liberals there. There still are Democrats. Not everybody in Florida, sadly, is on the Trump train. But conservatives are more fair, okay? Liberals are all activists, and they want to prove a point. And you listen just in the last 2 days, that little audio we played of Joe Scarborough. He hates people who disagree with him. Katie Couric said the same. They don't read and they're this and they're jealous. They hate people that aren't Democrats, and Donald Trump's not a Democrat. Conservatives disagree with liberals, but there's not that venom. I'm not talking about towards the politicians. Nobody likes politicians. I'm talking about, rank and file regular people. If anything, conservatives feel sorry for Democrat voters. They don't hate them or think they're better than them, and they don't view themselves as activists. There's just no way that you can get a fair trial for any president, okay? Because whoever the president is, half the people hate them. And half the people love them.
Even in today's world, even if you're not the president, if you're involved in a high-profile case, I think it's impossible to get a fair trial. OJ didn't get a fair trial. There were 9 black women on that jury. You think that's fair to the victims? No. The fix was in. He got a fair trial. He got off. But it wasn't fair to the victims. There's no victims in this these things going on with Trump. There's no victims. Just like with the bank thing with the houses. Yeah. There's no victims here. Michael Cohen went to jail for lying. Mm-hmm. Okay? He's a convicted liar, literally.
Yeah.
Stormy Daniels made a statement that she never slept with Trump and she made it up.
She wrote it down and signed it.
Okay?
Yeah.
These two people came up with this scheme together. And somebody in the press should really, I'd love to see Project Veritas do this instead of I like
the
him.
James O'Keefe Media.
James O'Keefe Media. What is it? What is it? The abbreviation?
James JOM. I don't know what he calls it.
I thought he has some. Anyway, I would really like to
JOM.
see somebody investigate this and see this relationship with Stormy and Michael Cohen, because I personally think that they cooked this up together. Well, and somehow Avenatti got involved.
The thing with,
I think that Michael Cohen knew her.
But we know it. This is my opinion. This was reported about a month ago.
Yeah,
Kathy.
that he knew her, and that they cooked up this scheme to embezzle money from Trump.
Well,
that's what possible.
Well, a couple things here. They keep calling this the hush money trial. Stormy Daniels wrote down and signed a statement that she did not have sex with Trump. Okay, what was he trying to hush her up from? Saying that they didn't have sex? I mean, it makes no sense. What was reported about a month ago was that Stormy Daniels and Michael Cohen had an affair that lasted quite some time. And I think what happened was Michael Cohen was all of a sudden on TV all the time.
Yep.
When Trump started running. I think she went to Michael Cohen to do a shakedown on Michael Cohen.
Yeah, because he's married.
And Michael Cohen cooked this thing up. Okay, I'll pay you. He decided he was going to pay her out of his home equity loan, which he did, and then tell his wife, well, it was for Donald Trump.
Yeah, that's
how this whole thing started.
I think that's exactly what happened.
That's how the whole thing started.
And it snowballed. I think that's exactly what happened. He did it to cover his own ass and told his wife it was Trump, and now he's living this lie. But I would love somebody in the media, but they won't, to really dig into that even further and see,
But that's what happened.
But that is what happened. But do you think that this judge...
No, the judge doesn't care.
Whose wife and daughter are ensconced in the Democratic Activist Party, do you think that his daughter or his wife or one of them has a picture of Trump in jail on their social media? The daughter. I mean, do you think this is going to be fair? No, I mean, and I feel so bad for Trump that he has to miss his son's graduation. It's his youngest kid. They're very close. I put a picture on your YouTube in your community section of Fred Trump with Donald when he graduated college and how he was at his graduation, but Trump won't be able to go to Barron's. Mm-hmm. And then I put a picture of Trump with Barron. They're obviously very close, and everybody said that in fact, I was watching a segment from Bet David's show.
Patrick Bet David.
And he had a guy on there. He had dinner at Mar-a-Lago with the Trumps. And he said Barron was very funny, very intelligent. And he was joking how his dad likes to be the DJ and he plays the music really loud. He said he hears it in his room. He can't sleep sometimes when they have parties. And he said, you can tell they're very close, that they get along and that they have a very special bond. Mm-hmm. And I think it's so sad that he is not going to be allowed to go for a day to see his youngest son graduate high school.
Yeah.
I mean, that should tell you everything.
That's the anger of the judge.
The judge can't give him a day off to do this. It's a big deal.
The graduation, the high school graduation is on a Friday.
I wonder where Barron is going to college. Nobody has talked about that. He's graduating. He goes to this private school in Palm Beach. I think it's an Episcopal school. But where is he going to university?
I haven't heard it said. I drive by Barron's High School every day on the way to the radio station. Well, I'm not going to say.
No, but I think it's an Episcopal private school.
It's an exclusive school. Yes. And you can tell I drive by it every day on the way to the radio station.
You should go to Hillsdale because I don't.
Hillsdale?
Hillsdale College.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, the one I know, the conservative one. Yeah.
I maybe he's going to the one Trump went to.
How about Trump University?
No, but he can't go to one of these Ivy Leagues and be treated decently.
No,
I mean, where's he going to go to school?
Like Chelsea Clinton was. Now,
and be treated nicely.
I wanted to play this bizarre exchange with John Cougar Mellencamp, and we'll talk about it.
Oh, yeah.
Well, I shouldn't have said that.
I guess he said something good about Biden or something. I didn't catch what he said, but this is a concert of John Cougar Mellencamp.
Here came that little arthritic finger right in my face, and she went, "It's just like you, buddy, to be a smart aleck when I'm talking to Jesus." And then it got real quiet. What do you think I'm into, you cocksucker? Now, here's the thing, man. You don't know me. You don't fucking know me. Hey, Joe, find this guy and let me see him after the show.
See, that's a threat. He's threatening him.
Anyway, before I was so rudely interrupted, guys, I can stop this show right now and just go home.
Grandma was waving her arthritic finger. You're totally listening.
Okay. Then he goes and plays Jack and Diane, and then later he says he's going to cut 10 songs out of the concert.
No, what I saw, he started playing Jack and Diane, and then he left.
Yeah. Oh, he left after Jack and Diane?
He started playing, he sang like the first few lines, and then he stopped and he walked off the stage.
You know,
what a crybaby.
A few things about this. When I would say this was career ending, but John Cougar Mellencamp's career has been over for a long time.
You should be glad there's even people there going to see him.
I never liked John Cougar Mellencamp. Jack and Diane, we all know the song, but it's not my
Little
thing.
Pink Houses.
I'm not a John Cougar Mellencamp fan. I never was. And he's not, and you know, but a couple things about this that he did. Something he said, I heard Cyndi Lauper say this on The Apprentice. She was on The Celebrity Apprentice 1 year.
She's a nasty person.
And she said a similar thing that he said. And I've always been a fan of Cyndi Lauper, or is in Just One of the Guys, Cyndi Lauper. Have you ever seen Just One of the Guys? But I was always a fan of Cyndi Lauper until I heard her say something like this. He says, "You don't know me, man." And Cyndi Lauper got involved in this conversation with Sharon Osbourne about how people think they know you, but they don't know you. You know, when you're a celebrity,
a lot of celebrities say that.
You know, this is a common thing you hear very famous people say. When I was a kid, I saw Barbara Walters interviewed Alan Alda from the set of MASH when MASH was still being filmed.
Yeah.
And he said the same thing. People think they know me. They don't know me. You watching, you don't know me.
No, we don't want to know you.
You know,
that's the whole point. They don't want to know you. They just want you to perform. That's your job. That's what that guy paid to see was this guy sing. And, you know, some performers tell stories, okay? So I think the guy in the audience was a little rude because when you go see some of these older
how
performers—
much these tickets cost?
Well, he was singing. When you go see some of these older performers, okay, they like to tell stories about their career. And the audience is usually very, very receptive. But when for that audience, I have to defend him a little bit. For that guy in the audience to say, just sing, is rude. But when he said, "You don't know me," and then right after he said, "Find out his seat," he was threatening him.
Yeah,
like, you don't know what I'm capable
by the
of.
Barn.
You know, and then for him to leave the show to me was very unprofessional.
I wonder if they refunded everybody.
Very unprofessional.
Should have refunded everybody.
He really let that guy get under his skin.
But let me just finish what I was saying. This thing that was celebrities say, "You don't know me." There is this arrogant thing. I don't know where celebrities get this. You don't know me, man. Cyndi Lauper, Alan Alda, John Cougar Mellencamp. I've heard many other celebrities say this over the years. All that we know of celebrities is what you present. What you present. And I don't know why they've got this thing that you don't know them. What is that about? It's very weird.
Yeah. I mean, are we supposed to know you? You're an entertainer.
Exactly.
You're an entertainer.
Exactly.
But I think when he said it, it wasn't the same context as Cyndi Lauper said it. To me, it was like, you don't know what I'm capable of. You don't know who you're dealing with.
Oh, like he can kick his butt?
Yes. It was, to me, sounded
John
like
Cougar
a threat.
Mellencamp.
And then he said right after, find out his seat.
He's like 75 years old, John Cougar Mellencamp.
Yeah, but he's got a whole team of bouncers.
Yeah.
And a crew. First of all, he should be lucky people even go see him perform. Because I agree with you. I think he sucks.
He's very overrated.
I never liked him. He's no Billy Joel or Elton John.
Not as bad as Bruce Springsteen, but close.
But I thought the guy in the audience was a little rude. Okay, but I would have handled it differently. I would have been, the guy was a heckler, and he had a Michael Richards reaction. He didn't know how to handle it. Is basically what
because
happened.
People kiss the butt of celebrities.
Yeah, he didn't know how to handle the heckler.
Because nobody's ever not kissed his butt. John Cougar Mellencamp. Give me a break. Well, listen, we're going to take our break. When we get back, oh man, don't go anywhere. Got something really good for you in the next segment. I'm Brian, always joined by my wife and co-host Kathy. We'll be back right after this.
Men, are you tired of looking tired? You can turn your tired eyes into a vibrant and refreshed look with a specially formulated under-eye cream for men at Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. This anti-aging formula is designed to repair and protect your eyes against the common signs of aging. Dark circles, puffiness, and those pesky crow's feet gone. With Meditati, you'll say goodbye to those tired eyes and hello to a youthful appearance. It's packed with peptides, vitamin C, jojoba oil, green tea, CoQ10, and other essential ingredients. This formula will keep your under eyes bright and refreshed. It also keeps your skin hydrated with the highest quality natural and organic ingredients. It's crafted by skincare experts, and this non-greasy, lightweight formula absorbs quickly and efficiently, nourishing the skin around your eyes. So if you're tired of puffiness and wrinkles, go right now to Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. That's MEDITATI. Don't miss out on this chance to give your eyes the care they deserve, because you and your eyes deserve it. Amazon.com/shops/Meditati. Calling all retro gaming enthusiasts. Check out Phoenix Full of Light on Twitch for a gaming experience like no other. Phoenix Full of Light plays almost any retro game, along with video game music. You can also follow Phoenix Full of Light on TikTok and Instagram for positive motivation and encouragement to brighten your day at Phoenix_full_of_light. Level up your retro gaming experience and spread positivity along the way. Phoenix Full of Light on Twitch, TikTok, and Instagram. Are you ready to take your fitness journey to the next level? Introducing Stay Fit BYT, the ultimate fitness app that's designed to help you achieve your goals. And the best part, it's only $12.99. Just Google Stay Fit BYT. With Stay Fit BYT, you'll have access to a wide variety of workouts, personalized training plans, and expert guidance right at your fingertips. Whether you're a beginner or a fitness enthusiast, Stay Fit BYT has something for everyone. Get ready to sweat, burn calories, and have fun with the Stay Fit BYT extensive library of workout videos. They have everything from high-intensity interval training to strength training, as well as yoga. You can do it all from the comfort of your home or wherever you are. Stay Fit BYT also offers nutrition tips, meal plans, and progress tracking features to help you stay on top of your health and wellness journey. Don't miss out on this incredible opportunity to transform your body and your mind. Download the Stay Fit BYT app today. Just Google Stay Fit BYT and start your fitness revolution for just $12.99. Stay Fit BYT, your ultimate fitness companion. Are you ready to unleash your full potential? Then Google Stay Fit BYT. Consult a healthcare professional before starting any new exercise program. Monthly subscription fees apply. Terms and conditions may apply. Young adventurers, it's time to take a journey through American history like never before with The U.S. Presidents, a kid's journey through U.S. history. Book 1 of the U.S. Presidents Trilogy. Be inspired, amused, and amazed. From author Stephen White. Available on Amazon. With this book, you'll explore the lives of America's most influential leaders, from George Washington and Abraham Lincoln to today's presidents. With its captivating narrative, each president will come alive, allowing readers to experience their successes, tribulations, and their enduring legacies. You'll learn everything about the presidents, from their humble beginnings to grand estates, from small towns to bustling cities. You'll discover the diverse backgrounds that shaped these extraordinary individuals. Young readers will absorb key historical facts and gain a deeper understanding of America's rich diversity. And teachers, this book is perfect for your classroom reading collection. This remarkable adventure through American history will inspire your students to dream big, make a difference, and shape the future. The U.S. Presidents, a kid's journey through U.S. history. Book 1 of the U.S. Presidents Trilogy. Be inspired, amused, and amazed. From author Stephen White. Order your copy right now on Amazon. Available in Kindle and paperback.
You are listening to The Brian Craig Show podcast, broadcasting from sunny South Florida. Brian is joined by his wife and co-host, Kathy. Follow Brian on social media at BrianCraigShow.com. And now, Brian and Kathy.
Yeah, during the break, I was reading up on Pink Houses by John Cougar Mellencamp. Because I know the song and the video. Remember the video? He like had a T-shirt and he's dancing really funny in the dirt in front of a house or something. It was on MTV like every 6 minutes for a while. And I never really thought too much about the song. Never really thought about it. And Jack and Diane, that song is like the most overplayed. So. But I don't like.
That was on the radio all the time
goodness.
when we were in high school.
Let me tell you.
Oh my gosh.
I can't stand John Cougar Mellencamp. I really can't stand Bruce Springsteen. And their voices are so much alike. They both sound like they're constipated. But anyway,
well, I think Mellencamp sings better than Springsteen.
I was curious what Pink Houses.
Yeah, I don't know what it means.
Pink Houses is the song where you say, "Ain't that America?"
Is it for communism or something?
Well, I'm going to read here because John Cougar Mellencamp
he's changed
talked
his
about
name
it
a few times.
Yeah, but it's the one where they say, "Ain't that America?" And it's used a lot over the years of the past in political campaigns. You see that a lot, because it says, "Ain't that America?" Mellencamp intended Pink Houses to be a lesson on race, class, and survival in America. The repeating line, "Ain't that America," was meant to be sarcastic and cynical. So is he making fun of America?
Yeah, he's one of these liberal commies. And I think Pink Houses, I don't know, maybe it has to do with that. Or when I heard that song, because I listened to a lot of music like you did in high school, and it was a popular song. And I remember when I listened to it, I never owned a John Mellencamp tape or
are you kidding?
Cassette or anything.
No
okay,
way.
But I'd hear him on the radio, and I remember thinking, I think he's insulting America. When I was 16 or whenever when this came out, and I thought to myself, I think he's insulting this country, because I've always been a very patriotic person. Like Brian, very patriotic. There's no shame in loving America. But I remember when I heard this, I thought this seems like it's sarcastic, and that's exactly what it is.
Another
liberal jerk.
I remember the video because it looks like those old Coke commercials. He's outside. It's kind of like sunset. He's in the dirt. He's wearing like jeans, a white T-shirt, and some boots. Like he's just, it's okay. Now,
well, the thing what's so ironic with him is he was championed, I remember, as like the guy who sings for Middle America and sings about real people. He's making fun of them. He's making fun of these people that he grew up in Indiana or wherever the hell he grew up.
The thing about these musicians are supposed to fight the establishment, and they've all become a part of the establishment, except Lee Greenwood, who's with Trump, right? But, Mellencamp and Springsteen, any of the musicians, Pink, any of the musicians that get involved in politics, they're always with the establishment, not against it, which rock and roll and stuff is supposed to be against. Now, there's this new phrase that the liberals have been throwing around everywhere, death to America. You've been hearing this like every day, death to America. These idiots that shut down the Golden Gate Bridge. Yes, death to America. Newt Gingrich. Yeah, I met Newt Gingrich and his wife. His wife is like Karen Carpenter thin. I mean, she is really thin.
Yeah.
And
she's got a big nose.
Yeah, and
can't miss her.
We were with Newt Gingrich at Wings Plus, and he's a weird guy. He's a weird guy.
Yeah, but I like him. He's always
I like him on
Trump.
I like him on TV.
Yeah, he's good on
but
TV.
in person,
is he tall? Is he short? Or
he's big. He's not that tall, but he may have shrunk since he was speaker. You know what I mean?
Sure,
he was speaker a long time ago.
Older. Yeah, sure.
You know, and I have a curved spine, and as I get older, my spine curves.
Everybody shrinks as they get older.
I'm like 2 inches shorter than I used to be. I'm getting shorter every year.
My Aunt Jill used to be 5'6", and I'm 5'5". I haven't started shrinking yet, but I remember I hadn't seen her because she lives in Toronto.
Yeah.
This is my mom's sister. I hadn't seen her in like 5 years. And when I saw her a couple years ago, she was like 4 inches shorter than me. She's like 5'1" now.
Yeah.
That's because it's just gravity and your bones compress.
Well, mine is my spine gets curvier as I get older. So I'm getting shorter all the time.
I don't notice that on you.
Well,
I think it's just getting old.
If you do the scoliosis test, if I try to touch my toes with my shirt off and you're looking at me from behind, you'll see it's curved. It looks kind of like that thing in Alien. But Newt Gingrich in person has zero personality.
Yeah.
And you might as well just have a cardboard cutout of Newt Gingrich at Wings Plus.
Really?
It was really bizarre. I've met a lot of politicians, and they're either like totally normal, like a normal person, because the really good politicians are like that. They make you think that they care about you, that, you know, like Obama or Bill Clinton, you know. Or they're like Newt Gingrich, they're a cardboard cutout. Or sometimes they overplay it, right? They're like, they're like, Newt Gingrich, cardboard cutout. That's all you need. So let me play this, though. So he went on Hannity last night, Newt Gingrich, and he was talking about this Death to America thing that's becoming normal.
Oh, yeah, it's becoming like a viral thing.
And he has a very good suggestion about that, and I support this.
He's a smart guy.
We got to go back and learn the lessons of the 1930s. Franklin Delano Roosevelt was faced with a Nazi effort inside the United States. They locked people up. If I believe, frankly, we should say, if you are for the victory of Iran, Roosevelt was faced with a Nazi effort inside the United States. They locked people up. If I believe, frankly, we should say, if you are for the victory of Iran, if you want to scream death to America, we're deporting you. If you're an American, we're going to try you for treason. You can't get up and say death to America as an American citizen.
Okay, now he didn't.
These days.
He didn't repeat himself. I hit the rewind button in the middle of that by accident.
Yeah.
So he hasn't lost his mind. But
I mean, Brian, they locked up all they put all the Japanese in internment camps during World War II. Things are different now.
What Newt Gingrich is saying is true. If you were saying death to America, that is treason. If you want America to die, you are. Oh, it's my mom. I better answer the phone.
Oh, you better answer it and call, and you'll start the show back.
Yeah. Okay, that was my mom. She just was. She was talking to me about my birthday coming up Saturday, but
yeah. What do you want for your birthday?
Trump to win. That's what I want. I want Trump to win.
You got to give me some birthday ideas.
I really got everything I want. Last year for my birthday, I bought the Vespa, the MAGA scooter.
Right.
That's the first thing I've ever bought myself. Really, of the Vespa, which I love, and the MAGA scooter 2.0.
You do love that,
and I ride it all the time. By the way, I still have the original MAGA scooter. I've been unable to sell it because I'll just give you an update on that. Because what I found with people that want to buy scooters, they won't register them. And what I wanted to do with people was meet them. There's a tag office right down the street at an insurance company. Have them meet me at the tag office, and we'll sign the title. Nobody would do it. So I still have the original MAGA scooter in the garage. But I don't know. I just want Trump to win and get all this lawfare over and be happy. But no, that was my mother. I figured I had to, when the ID says mom, I better answer it. Right? If it didn't say mom, I might have just called her back after the show.
This is interesting. The University of Southern California, USC, which is a very good school, their valedictorian is a Muslim American, and they are not letting her give a speech. They're afraid, it says, over the past several days, discussion relating to the selection of a valedictorian has taken on an alarming tenor. The intensity of feelings fueled by both social media and the ongoing conflict in the Middle East has grown to include many voices outside of USC and has escalated to the point of creating substantial risks relating to security and disruption at commencement.
Yep.
So, of course, she's saying, I'm shocked and disappointed. So what they're basically afraid of, I don't know if they're saying that anti-Muslim people are threatening or if it's people on both sides, or they're worried about some big, like, mini Middle Eastern conflict on the campus between Jewish people and Muslims. But clearly, I would think, considering what's going on, she would get political in her speech. And maybe I think when you give a commencement speech, I know in my high school, I knew the salutatorian. She was a friend of mine. And I'm pretty sure they had to look at her speech before she could give it.
Yeah.
Now, you can go off script, but you have to get your speech approved. And I'm assuming that's the same for college. I would know. I've never been valedictorian. But they probably saw her speech and were like, no. Or they discussed it with her, but they're not letting her give her speech.
Yeah.
Do you think that's a good idea? Or valedictorians are always give a commencement, give a speech.
They must know something about her.
Or I think they're just afraid. They said there have been a lot of posts on social media this week about her, and they're worried of like a major conflict on campus. I'm assuming between people that support the Gazans and people that support the Jews, having a big brawl here or something.
The level of anti-Semitism in this country anti-Semitism was virtually almost wiped out. And Obama, in his 8 years, we found out recently, brought it back. Now, I want to play this. This is amazing. I saw this on X today. And it's Dan Rather on the CBS Evening News in 1982 talking about climate change.
Oh, yeah, this is hilarious.
1982. And, we live in Florida, which is a peninsula, and oftentimes he talks about the dangers that Florida is facing in the future. And this is in 1982. So, and I like these things. Climate change and global warming have been around for so long now, and nothing's changed. It's so nice to be able to go back and see these old things that they talked about and predicted, none of which have happened.
It's hilarious.
So this is Dan Rather.
We're getting close to the AOC time clock.
Exactly.
The end of the world is coming up in
the end of the
2
world.
years,
Exactly. Yeah, just like that 2012 thing, right? So and Y2K. So this is this is Dan Rather in 1982 on the CBS Evening News.
Concern about rising temperatures on planet Earth heated up a hearing here in Washington today. For years, scientists have theorized about the dangers of the so-called greenhouse effect, the warming of the Earth's atmosphere due to the burning of coal and oil. And in recent months, as David Culhane reports, research has uncovered facts to support that theory.
Many scientists claim that the temperature of the Earth's atmosphere has been rising over the past 100 years, that the great sheets of pack ice in Antarctica are melting at a much more rapid rate than previously.
Antarctica's still there.
Hearing about this for 30, 40 years.
Yeah, I know. Exactly.
And finally, that the sea level has been rising with increasing swiftness over the past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world.
Yeah, and they show a map, and Kathy, I'm sorry to tell you, by the year 2000, in our home that we're broadcasting from right now, we're going to be underwater by the year 2000.
I'm looking at that.
You see this? 1982. By the year 2000.
Exactly. Half the state is gone.
More than that, and our house will be like the lost city of Atlantis by the year 2000. So
I remember seeing those. I tell you.
By the year
2000. Watch An Inconvenient Truth.
Yeah, let's play the rest of it.
Yeah.
Yeah, okay.
I remember them telling us this in high school.
Oh, my goodness.
And it would scare the hell out of me.
Yeah.
Remember the acid rain and the rainforest?
That's what this is about, the greenhouse effect.
Stuff. I mean, it's all BS.
Yeah. But, Kathy, by the year 2000.
Past 40 years. If these scientists are correct, about 25% of Florida would be flooded, along with low-lying areas all over the world. Climate changes could produce widespread disruption of agriculture. The American Farm Belt might be too dry, and the wheat and corn crops would have to move to Canada.
Because Canada's frozen, it's going to be hot.
Who are these scientists?
CBS Evening News, credible scientist here.
Scientists blame the odorless, colorless carbon dioxide gas for these potentially dangerous changes around the planet. It is the greenhouse effect. The gas allows sunlight to filter down and warm the earth. But like the glass of a greenhouse, the carbon dioxide tends to trap heat so that it cannot rise into space.
Whatever.
The scientists maintain that the coal, oil, and gas we've been burning for 100 years have produced more and more carbon dioxide and helped overheat the earth. Now, some political leaders endorse the demands for more CO2 monitoring stations, like this one in Hawaii. And they share the anger of the scientists at Reagan administration budget cuts at a time when they feel closer to getting definitive answers.
We are not doing...
Okay, this is Congressman Al Gore from Tennessee. Not even senator yet. He's the congressman. This is Al Gore. I mean, and this
was his big money maker.
Kathy, this is 42 years ago, right? It's almost half a century.
Wow.
The kind of research that we should be doing to determine whether or not these scientists who were so alarmed are correct in their assessment.
And what they find out will affect the lives and fortunes of millions of people. The very survival of cities like this one. David Culhane, CBS News, New York.
Okay. He's off the river in New York with the World Trade Center behind him, both of the towers. It's really sad to see that. But here we are 42 years later, not one of those predictions came true.
Another big lie to manipulate people, to politicize something. You know, the environmentalist thing and the climate thing has been very, so far up to now, has been very useful for the Democrats. A lot of people vote based on that issue alone, that they're of climate change. Yeah. So it is a made-up issue, made up to help the Chinese. Maybe not at first, but definitely now. They use it to try to get people off gas, but I think they were involved even then. But to manipulate voters into thinking that Republicans want to destroy the earth with using fossil fuels or whatever you want to call it, and that liberals are going to save the planet. It's so absurd. You see all these celebrities like DiCaprio, who's a big climate activist, flying around on private jets. Taylor Swift. You know how much she flew around on her private jet during football season to visit her boyfriend?
Yes.
I mean, somebody put up a thing about it, and her fans were actually calling her on it because she's supposed to be some big climate activist. Give me a break. These people are they're just phonies. They don't know what they're doing, but this is a big lie. There is no climate change. The earth goes through normal cycles. We do not affect the weather. I think it's important not to pollute, and I think it's very important to keep the earth clean. That's true. If you go to some other countries, you know, and I've seen it and for myself it's filthy. They don't, you don't want to live like that. You do want clean water, clean air. And I can tell you, America's the cleanest country in the world. But so I think we're all for that. But to think that man, like Sonny Hostin, affecting the eclipse, they really believe this, that they are so powerful, they can affect the weather.
They think they're gods.
These people have lost their freaking minds.
So Biden was campaigning today. I think he was in Scranton. I don't know where he was today. I don't know. But he was, I don't know who he was speaking to, but he was talking about French soldiers. So I don't know who he was talking to. Our phones are ringing off the hook during the podcast. That was our daughter who called. So Joe Biden was campaigning and said this.
One that offends me the most is when he refused as president to visit an American cemetery outside of Paris when he was president. Why? He said that those soldiers who gave their lives were, quote, was his quote, suckers and losers.
That's not true.
Okay, first off, that is one of the biggest lies ever told about Trump. That came from
John Kelly.
Right?
Yeah,
after Trump fired Kelly,
that's right.
He said that. Trump said that. There's no recordings, no witnesses.
No.
Kelly made it up.
Yeah,
he
because
never
he got
said
fired.
That.
That's exactly right. He got fired.
And it's such an interesting thing. Because of course I study history, and I'm now questioning everything I ever learned in my whole education, because the living history that we're experiencing you see how they create these narratives. And Mark,
like that'll be in a history book someday.
Well, that was the rest of my sentence.
Yes.
Okay, we've been married a long time,
Yes,
so we
think
finish
alike.
sentences.
Yes.
But this lie that General Kelly has told about Trump, saying that the dead soldiers were losers and suckers, that is going to be in the official biographies that are written about President Trump. And it's god-awful, and it's a shame. And they repeat these lies. They believe their lies.
And Brian, politics is really nasty, but it was even nastier when the country first formed and during the Civil War. I mean, we went to war. Things were very nasty. They were lying about people then, and people would make up things. This is nothing new. They would make up lies. The newspaper would tell lies. And you're right, it becomes a part of the historical record. So unless and they didn't have recordings back then during the 1800s or the 1700s. So you got to question everything people say.
The first time, this whole thing with Sally Hemings and Thomas Jefferson was from his presidential campaign. They were those that opposed Jefferson's candidacy.
Started
to
that
the
whole
newspapers
thing.
with that.
I thought they had descendants, actual descendants of her and his.
There are descendants, but that whole thing
they actually
started through that. I don't. No. There's a narrative that he raped Sally Hemings. I don't know. I don't know. But that whole thing started through a political campaign.
Well, I thought they actually did have a long-going affair and had children, and there's descendants of them.
We don't know that. There are descendants that have DNA, but that doesn't necessarily mean that they are that they were that he fathered children with her. There could have been somebody else in his line that did. We don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But all these things, when it comes to the world of politics, narratives are pushed by the media, by politicians, and oftentimes, like this thing with General Kelly, they are not true.
Right.
Now, I want to tell you guys that the most MAGA company in America is Mike Lindell's MyPillow. And, when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, there are huge deals going on at MyPillow.com. You're supporting the MAGA company itself, MyPillow. And when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane, you're also supporting everything that I'm connected to, the podcast, my YouTube channel, the radio show. And it helps us out a lot when you use our promo code Kane at checkout, Kane. You could use our promo code Kane on all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones that I talk about. But I talk about what I think are the best deals and the must-haves. And, we have almost every MyPillow product there is, but there's a whole bunch of new ones. Mike Lindell has socks now, both like regular athletic socks and dress socks. There's so many. I'm shocked at how many new items there are.
He's always adding new things.
Oh, there's well over 200 items at MyPillow.com with huge discounts. But I was telling you the other day, if I could only have one MyPillow item, only one, it'd be the MyPillow mattress topper. You can get the MyPillow mattress topper for 50% off. And the MyPillow mattress topper with our promo code Kane at checkout and free shipping and 50% off the MyPillow mattress topper with our promo code Kane. And the reason I tell you that if I could only have one MyPillow product, we have, I don't even know how many, we have everything. We live in a MyPillow household. But if I could only have one, it would be that one. It turns your entire bed into a MyPillow. If you have a mattress that is old, you think you need a new mattress, mattresses are expensive. Get the MyPillow mattress topper. The mattress we have now is a new mattress, and we still have the MyPillow mattress topper on top of it. When we got our MyPillow mattress topper, we got it on a Saturday. I was at the gun show, came home. It was here. It was on the front porch. We put it on. We slept on it that night. I woke up Sunday morning, and the sun was out. And that's a big deal for me because on the weekends, I still wake up early. And since we've had the MyPillow mattress topper, I wake up when my alarm goes off. You get a well-rested sleep like you've never had before with the MyPillow mattress topper. 50% off and free shipping with our promo code Kane at checkout. Now, again, you can use our promo code Kane at checkout and enjoy all the specials at MyPillow.com, not just the ones I talk about. But again, the MyPillow mattress topper, 50% off and free shipping. Huge deal, and it will change your life. Promo code Kane, Kane, at checkout at MyPillow.com. All right, everyone, thanks for tuning in. My name is Brian Craig, always joined by my wife and